The Truman Show, starring the popular actor Jim Carrey, is yet another movie that propagates the whole Gnostic view that we've been trapped by an evil creator.
Good morning!
Morning!
Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
The Truman Show is a movie about a man named Truman Burbank who was adopted by a corporation before he was even born for the express purpose of exploitation in the reality show. After his birth, he is placed in an artificial world on the phony island town of Sea Haven, which, unknown to Truman for the first 29 years of his life, is really a Burbank studio. Hence his birth name, Truman Burbank. Truman is unknowingly viewed by millions of people in the television audience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for the rest of his life, as thousands of cameras record his every move.
Say something. You're on television. You're live to the whole world.
His artificial world is filled with actors and actresses, carrying out a script for the entertainment of the world as well as the ego of Christoph, the evil creator and director of the show.
With just one.
Christoph lives in a silhouetted world above the sky, viewing Truman's every move, which is monitored from the moon station, which is a control center for the show. However, Truman Burbank comes to the Gnostic revelation that life is a scam, and that he lives in an illusory world, and finally realizes who the true man is within. It doesn't take a genius to realize that beyond the surface of a reality show gone overboard, that the two men most responsible for manipulating poor Truman's life are named Moses and Christoph, or C-H-R-I-S-T-O-F, Christ off. Unmistakable references to both Moses and Christ, the central personages of both the Old and New Testaments. Even as Truman finds the true man within, we also discover that Christ is way off as he seeks to exploit others to his own twisted glory. Just as God offers Moses the promised land, so director Peter Weir states that, quote, while Christoph proposed to Moses was unprecedented and staggering in its scope. He showed Moses plans for a new studio on a large parcel of land in Burbank, California. The studio was designed by ex-NASA scientists who had been working on a sealed environment for humans to live and work. The world that Christoph and Moses run is one of enslavement, wherein Truman is duped into accepting limitations of a fabricated world that is passed off as real. To keep Truman from discovering the truth that the creation is a sham, Christoph cruelly manufactures then exploits Truman's fears. Eventually, Truman finds out that everything is false. Truman finds out that trust and faith in his creator is a delusion, but that suspicion and rebellion are what leads to true freedom and fulfillment. Truman is depicted as a brave soul who broke through the barriers that hold us down to open himself up to the real world. This again is a depiction that the world we live in is phony, and through Gnosticism or occultism we can come to understand all is an illusion and find true enlightenment and spiritual reality. Truman, like Adam, is depicted as an innocent human being in Sea Haven, which is shown as a perfect paradise when everyone is good, conjuring up a picture of Eden before the fall. Even as Satan sought to get Adam and Eve to believe that God was holding out on them, the first time that we see Truman become aware that Christoph may be deceiving him is when a star falls from heaven and gives him enlightenment. Truman casts his gaze upon the strange light that has fallen from heaven. He discovers that it is labeled, quote, Sirius 9 Canis Major. Truman herein receives a hint that the world he lives in may be bogus, and the hint comes from a fallen light labeled Sirius 9. Sirius is the brightest star in the Canis Major constellation. Thus, Truman's revelation that leads to the knowledge that Moses and Christoph have deceived him comes from a fallen star. It just so happens that Satan, who led Adam and Eve astray, is depicted in Scripture as being a fallen star. The prophet Isaiah stated, quote,
How you have fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the dawn! You have been cut down to the earth, you who have weakened the nations. But you said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will raise my throne above the stars of God, and I will sit on the mount of assembly in the recesses of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. Nevertheless, you will be thrust down to Sheol, to the recesses of the pit. Isaiah 14:12-15.
Philip K. Dick, who, as we have seen, has influenced several Gnostic movies, claimed that spirit entities from the star Sirius are using him and others in popular culture to awaken the world to the truth that we are in a fabricated world like that of Truman's. There's a vast amount of Gnostic occult literature which identifies the star Sirius with Gnostic revelation and satanic forces. In Philip K. Dick's exegesis of Valis, He states that he is possessed by a spirit entity that claims to be from Sirius, and that Sophia is going to be born again, and that the insane creator will be overthrown, and that, quote, invaders, end quote, using telepathic powers that have emanated from the planet star system Sirius, covertly influence our history toward a fruitful end, and eventually a new occult age will dawn. In Morals and Dogma, Albert Pike states, quote, the blazing star of 5 points, end quote, or the pentagram of the Masonic lodges represents Sirius, the guardian and guide of our souls. Satanist Aleister Crowley identified his own spirit guide to be both Satan, whom he also referred to as Sirius. Truman experiences Gnostic initiation through 3 means of revelation that mirror Gnosticism. He experiences it from the fallen star that gives him knowledge, representing Satan. As we have seen, Gnostics recast Satan disguised as Sophia, who fell from the ultimate depth, and then in an act of self-redemption seeks to save humanity from the evil creator. Even as Gnosticism teaches that Eve set Adam free from the evil creator, Truman becomes enchanted by a woman he sees sitting by a tree. Her stage name, as part of Christoph's script, is Lauren, but feeling compassion for Truman Burbank, she reveals her real name as Sylvia and seeks to reveal to Truman covertly that he is being deceived by Christoph and Moses, and that the world he lives in is phony.
Truman.
What do they want?
Listen to me. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows everything you do. They're pretending, Truman. Do you understand? Everybody's pretending.
I don't know.
No. My name's not Lauren. It's Sylvia. My name's Sylvia.
Sylvia?
Yeah.
Lauren, sweetheart, not again. Hey, wait a minute. Who are you?
Truman, please, don't listen to him. Everything I've told you is the truth.
Please.
It's fake. It's all for you.
I don't understand.
And the sky and the
What?
sea, everything. It's a set.
I don't
It's a
believe
show.
you.
Everybody's
You'll be all
watching
right.
you. Please, don't listen to him.
Lauren.
He's gonna lie to you. Watch
What's
this
going
right
on?
now.
I really would like to know what's going on.
Just as Eve was cast out of Eden, so Sylvia is forcibly taken off the scene and eventually cast out of the Sea Haven paradise. This happens when an actor pretending to be her father lies to Truman and forcibly removes her from the island paradise. This is a depiction of Yahweh falsely claiming to be the father of Eve and in fact having no real right over her real destiny.
Fiji. We're moving to Fiji.
No.
Fiji?
As in Gnosticism, Truman not only receives revelation from a fallen star, from a woman at a tree, but he also receives revelation from self-discovery. Truman looks at himself in a mirror, and the revelation that began with the fallen star continues to open his eyes to the secret gnosis of who he truly is. Gnostic Gospels, like that of the Gospel of Thomas, encourage Gnostic initiates to look within oneself for revelation for one's own divinity. Rather than Jesus being the light of the world, the Gospel of Thomas states, quote, there is light within each person, and it lights up the whole universe. If it does not shine, there is darkness. It is as Truman looks to himself that he discovers that the creator of the world is a phony who has created a phony world, and that he comes to discover the light of the true man within. As the Truman Show progresses, we not only discover more and more about Truman, but we discover more and more about the evil creator. He goes from being a control freak to one that flies into a rage. In the end, he loses his hold on Truman and is defeated. He is depicted as a monstrous creator who derives pleasure from being in control and watching another live a lie. In the film's climactic scene, Christoph is revealed to be an evil manipulator. Truman makes a heroic attempt to escape Christoph's phony world by a sailboat. Christoph, filled with wrath, loses control and rains down a thunderous storm upon Truman's head. Christoph is intent on stopping Truman from escaping, even if it means drowning him. Notice that we get another clue as to what's going on here when we see the boat number 139. We see number 139 on the boat when the boat is sailing, but we also see that after Truman recovers from the capsized boat, he's clutching the sail, and the director wants to make sure that we see that 139 all over again. This is significant because in the Bible, Psalm 139 is all about God seeing everything. In Psalm 139, the psalmist talks about God knowing the psalmist's location and his every thought. Psalm 139 states, quote, O Lord, you have searched me and you know me. You know when I sit down and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely, O Lord. You hem me in, behind and before. You have laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise to the wings of the dawn, I settle on the far side of the sea. Even there your hand will guide me. Your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely darkness will hide me, and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as a light to you. For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. After nearly drowning, Truman fails to turn back to Christoph. Christoph finally speaks directly to his, quote, son, end quote, from heaven.
Truman. You can speak. I can hear you.
Who are you?
I am the creator of a television show that gives hope and joy and inspiration to millions.
Then who am I?
You're the star.
Was nothing real?
You were real. That's what made you so good to watch. Listen to me, Truman. There's no more truth out there than there is in the world I created for you. Same lies. The same deceit. But in my world, you have nothing to fear.
As in Gnosticism, Truman recognizes his own power over Christoph, and appearing to walk on water, he makes his ascent up into a door in the heavens to find freedom from Christoph's restrictions. Actually becomes his own savior with the help of the fallen star, the help of the woman at the tree, and self-discovery. Ultimately, the crowd is made to celebrate Truman's salvation from the evil creator Christoph and Moses. It seems that director Peter Weir, through The Truman Show, purposely sought to get people to question the authority of their creator. Weir stated, quote, Truman lived on, unaware that his life was unlike any other. After all, why should he doubt his world? It was all he'd ever known, as real to him as ours is to us. Truman's freedom was supposedly his daringness to break the rules and to overcome the phony boundaries set up to keep him from the truth. This appeals to our sinful nature because we would like to play God and blame the Creator for all of our problems. We like to think that we could create our own world and leave our Creator in the dust. The reality is that Psalm 139 is not about an evil Creator. It's actually a psalm of comfort. It's a song of comfort that shows us that thank God that God is on the throne no matter what we go through and that He tenderly cares for each one of us. The psalmist goes on to state in Psalm 139 that even there your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place. When I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book, before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts, O God. How vast is the sum of them. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting.